to the last in the present series of They Think It's All Over. With David and Jonathan is a Commonwealth and European triple jumping champion who currently holds the world indoor record set on this show when Rory goosed her during Field the Sportsman. Ashia Hansen. With Gary and Rory is the BBC's face of motorsport who says her ideal evening would be a romantic night in with Elvis Presley. Well, stick around after the show and I'll lend you a shovel. Suzi Perry. We get going with our handbags round about the petty squabbles between sportsmen, Gary, Rory and Suzi. It's Britain's top two Formula One drivers for you. Here's David Coulthard doing what he does best. And here's Eddie Irvine doing what he does best. So why the bad feeling between the two Grand Prix also-rans? Gary's team.
Now, Suzi, your sport is super bikes, isn't it? Is that right?
Correct.
Super bikes.
Yeah.
Now, I've known quite a few bikes in my time, but none of them were super. What makes a bike a super bike?
It's a bike that's between 750 and 1,000 cc.
750 cc, that's the engine, is it?
That's the engine, they're 4 strokes, whereas the GP bikes are 2 strokes.
Whereas Gary's 218 strokes, aren't you? But you don't like, this is Formula One we're talking about in this question, and you don't like that?
Well, you know, it's not really proper sport, is it? Formula One.
So you think 2 wheels is sexier than 4 wheels?
Definitely.
Well, I'm a unicyclist.
David's got a wheelchair. I'll say it says 4 wheels, yeah.
But I agree with you about, I think it's a very boring sport. If I want to watch a bunch of overpaid nanties going around in circles, I go to White Hart Lane. Apparently their team have developed, Irvine and Coulthard's team have developed a new form of overalls, all in one thing, but the zip is up the back, up the rear, so they can go to the toilet without taking it off. It's an idea developed by Team Barrymore. You make me naughty, Suzi. You know the answer because you're a motorsport person.
Yeah. I do know the answer.
Go on, tell us then. I love you. Oh, sorry.
Do you, Rory? I love you too.
I knew it.
Well, I think that Irvine said that Coulthard would never be world champion, and he got a bit miffy about it.
Is the correct answer for 3 points. Well done, Suzi. Yes. It dates back to an article written by Eddie Irvine in The Sun in which he dismissed Coulthard's chances of ever winning the world title. Coulthard replied, "It's difficult to understand someone who has got 2 faces." Well, that's rich coming from someone who's got 1 face with 4 corners. Eddie Irvine refused to take part in a team photo recently, saying, "Send out some in my helmet, they'll never know the difference." David Gower pulled off an identical trick on the 1986 Australian tour when he persuaded a T-boy to go out wearing his helmet. He was found out, though, when the T-boy scored an effortless 136. David, Jonathan and Ashia, it's model and occasional tennis player Anna Kournikova for you, seen here losing to the unknown Tatiana Panova in the first round of this year's Wimbledon.
Oh dear.
Now, it's not a person that she fell out with, but a corporation, the BBC itself. But why David's team?
Before we get onto that, can I welcome... But no, to be polite, may I welcome Ashia to the show, because Ashia is so lovely having you, and what a beautiful name. Ashia Hansen. Am I right in thinking that Ashia is a Ghanaian name for, it means born on a Sunday?
That's right.
But the second name confused me, because Hansen, as we know, is Scottish for miserable every Saturday. David, can I be honest with you, David was cross when you turned up today.
Really?
Because I told him he had a beautiful jump on the show, he thought we bought him a lovely new Pringle to... So there was a question. Anna Kournikova.
I thought she was a model, actually. I thought she modelled bras.
You used to do modelling, didn't you?
Did you model in Japan, Suzi?
Yes, a while ago.
What did you model in Japan?
Just, you know, stuff.
You know, David does quite a lot of this promotional stuff. He does the modelling, he does the photographs for those walk-in baths. He is a natural. Somehow he gets that confused look on his face. Perfect. So, Anna Kournikova. I've got a lot of complaints, though. A couple of weeks ago on the show, I knocked Tim Henman. And people phoned in and complained. They pointed out that, of course, he led us to victory in the tennis cup. The Davis Cup, that's it. Well, there's so many cups. How do you keep up? I don't know how you keep up, you sports people. There's a cup for this and a cup for that. Anyway, he won a cup. And people complained and said I shouldn't have knocked him for that. But, you know, come on, he won it against a bunch of ties. Presumably he was playing the bloke who was just holding a wok. You can't get any chops in with a wok. I've tried. They're not known for their tennis. According to David, they're known for their ping-pong, but not for their tennis. Ashia, you live in Birmingham, don't you know?
I do,
Did you experience the recent earthquake?
I did.
Wow, what was it like? Did you actually feel it shaking?
Yeah, I thought it was a truck coming through the house.
Sorry, you thought it was a truck coming through the house?
She lives in Birmingham. That's a normal Saturday night in.
Don't bother getting up, it's a truck coming through the house.
I thought, well, and there's 2 cars on the drive. How the hell did it get up the drive?
Ashia, do you agree with drug testing at all?
Actually, I had one on Friday.
Really? Is it a wee in a little cup? Or?
Wee in a cup.
You wee in a cup?
A wee in a cup.
And how does one get the job of drug testing for the ladies too? Because this won't last forever. This won't be here forever. I have to have something to fall back on.
You're right, you're right.
Yeah. Anna Kournikova. She's a tennis player.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
She's a good-looking young lady. But you know what? I do know this because there was an interview on the BBC.
There was?
After the tennis. And like most men, I wasn't really listening because when she's on, I just turn the sound down, light a few candles, make sure the movement sensor has been disabled. They'll cut all that out. I saw this, and she was interviewed, and whatever wave-faced poltroon they had doing the interviews after tennis dared to suggest to her that she didn't deserve the position she held in tennis.
Is the correct answer for 3 points. Yes, after that defeat, Anna was interviewed by the BBC's Gary Richardson. She stopped the interview 3 times because she didn't approve of the questions, whereupon BBC Sport retaliated by showing the whole interview unedited. Richardson offended Kournikova by asking her if she thought she was doing too many commercials, but she said no, the only thing worrying her was consolidating all her debts into one manageable monthly payment. It wasn't a great day for Gary Richardson. That same afternoon, he had a row with Pete Sampras when he accused him of jumping up and down on his bonnet and pulling off his windscreen wipers. And at the end of that round, David's team had 3 points and Gary's team had 3 points. Time for me to ask what's going on. Gary's team, here's the unlikely meeting of former world #1 boxer Mike Tyson and reigning world #1 gay rights activist Peter Tatchell.
Can you say something positive that you oppose discrimination against gay people? That would be great.
So why the meeting of those particular minds, Gary's team?
Did Tatchell obviously misunderstood the expression Iron Mike? I don't want to be party to homophobia because I think homophobia is a terrible thing. I'm a great supporter of the lesbian community. I buy all their videos.
Can you shed any light onto that?
I don't understand, but you know what? I know what you're thinking probably. You're sitting there and you've got some time on your hands. You're thinking about the sort of children we would have together, aren't you? Imagine that combination of drop-dead sexy good looks and your knowledge of bikes. Imagine. Can you imagine?
It's what it
said it was. We thought you might get this one, Gary.
About the fact that Tyson was a bit
Because
homophobic.
he said some horrible things about someone recently.
Miss Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, Lennox
he said
Lewis.
stuff.
Yeah, we'll give you 3 points for that. Well done, yeah. How is it going to do? Yeah. Peter Tatchell flew all the way to Memphis to accuse Mike Tyson of being anti-gay. After a brief exchange of views, Tatchell said, "And you're not going to use homophobic insults anymore." To which Tyson replied, "I'll use them, but I won't mean them." Other protesters held up a banner reading, "Jesus Christ is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And since Jesus is everywhere, that means he's technically British." Researchers at Loughborough University have worked out that the average person has an 85% chance of getting brain damage if hit by a punch from Mike Tyson. That's OK, said Frank Bruno, so there's a 37% chance it won't happen. David's team, here's yours.
He needs to better 8 metres 59 and basically to challenge the world record. Tremendous speed down the runway. What an effort by Lewis. He's really pulled out his best jump right at the end.
Is that Emil Heskey's training regime?
Emil!
I think I know what that is. Following recent tragic events, I believe that's a prototype to test a new swimming pool for celebrities in which no one can drown. What do you think, Captain?
I think it's what happens when you fly EasyJet.
Have you ever flown EasyJet?
You must be
It's marvellous. EasyJet's fantastic. For $5 or more, they let you land the plane. I was exhausted when I got there because I had the pedalling bit. I was like,
Isn't that programme on Channel 5?
do you watch Channel 5?
There are programmes on Channel 5?
Alternative sports, something like that.
On Channel 5. Yeah, I'll give you 3 points for
Oh,
that.
well done.
Yeah. I'm not meant to have done that, am I? Yes, that was the headlong dive as seen on Channel 5's International King of Sports, a programme in which the channel compensates for not having any sports by inventing new ones. Other events include the 200-metre backwards run, the two-legged hurdles and the international skids, which sounds like what Gary used to get when he saw Vinnie Jones's name on the Wales team sheet. Channel 5 have said they're willing to consider all novelty joke sports for inclusion in the programme, although they will be drawing the line at Scottish football. At the end of that round, David's team have 6 points and Gary's team have 6 points. It's the long yearn for return of our goal celebrations round. Gary's team, here's Thierry Henry notching one up in Arsenal's 2-1 win against Manchester City.
They've got Arsenal again. With Sylvain Wilton. Nice ball. Through to Henry. Henry! 2-1.
Now, the Premier League are happy to let us show the goal, but not the celebration that followed, because that would mean we'd be bringing football into disrepute, and that's Roy Keane's job. So, here's a photo of it instead. And how do you explain the T-shirt, Gary's team, for
The newborn kid.
You were responsible for a newborn kid, weren't you? That goat you showed.
Hey! Fantastic. Gaz did it once, written on his skin was, "Shit, I forgot the T-shirt."
What did you used to do when you celebrated when you scored?
Can't remember.
What did you do?
I used to go,
Was that when you were really excited?
sex on a stick, isn't it?
on a really important goal, it was more, yes.
No, never seen that.
Because your bottom was in the sun, wasn't it, Susie?
Oh, I knew you were going to mention this.
It's unpleasant when you're there at Lanzarote on that beach wearing a thong and a sun photographer suddenly jumps up in front of me and I can't...
That's what the Leeds players do this, don't they? Now put their shirts over their head when they come out court. That's what all the Wolves players should be doing at the moment, really, isn't it?
Are you a Wolves fan?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I was brought up by Wolves. Is this not a reference to a friend of his who is the lead singer of Texas, the pop group, Charlie Spiteri?
Here's the correct answer for 3 points, yeah. Being a professional footballer, Thierry Henry is obviously mates with pop star Charlene Spiteri, the lead singer of Texas. The message was to congratulate her on the birth of her daughter, full name Misty Kidd Heath. David Seaman did a similar tribute in the World Cup to a child called Misty Cross.
Jesus! If I did a
We've
joke
got to
like
sack
that,
the Chuckle Brothers from writing all this. Diego Forlan also promised to celebrate the birth of a friend's child after scoring his first goal for Man United. The baby didn't see it, though, as she just started university. FIFA has recently introduced rules banning players from lifting their shirts over their heads in celebration. The only exception they'll allow, obviously, is Luke Chadwick. David's team, it's the baby-faced assassin for you.
Here come United again. Van Nistelrooy. Will he have a go? He will. Good save. Solskjaer again!
Now, that kneeling position has become Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's trademark celebration. But what does it all mean?
Actually, can I just check something? You were born in Ghana?
Yes.
And you had
Well, no, I wasn't born in Ghana.
Where were you born?
I was born in America.
We don't have to be too specific.
Oh,
It's
okay.
okay. This isn't. I'm not from immigration. You're okay. So you're living in Ghana as a child, and you've got what? A beautiful beach near the house somewhere?
Mango tree.
I love a mango.
Yeah.
Mango trees, fresh mango.
Fresh mango.
So what did you do that was so awful that your parents moved you to Birmingham? I think you might be bringing to life a moment from a rare unseen episode of All Creatures Great and Small I Have, in which the vet has to take the cow's temperature without a thermometer. He's imitating, I believe, a popular singing star. On a song, on a winter day, on a single lonely donkey in the ghetto.
Yes, it's Lester Piggott. Just answer the question.
No, we're having a good time.
We are not having a good time.
We only see each other once a week, and no one else visits him. He likes my little time together. We sing, we talk, don't we? Wossy?
Oh, Elvis, bloody protect.
Yes!
Correct for 3 points. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. It is the Norwegians moving tribute to Elvis Presley, who was wont to adopt the pose in his pomp. Solskjaer says that Elvis is my eternal hero and I dedicate all my goals to the king. Coincidentally, Diego Forlan dedicated his last goal but one to the king, the then king, George V. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the only man at Old Trafford with 3 names. There's Ruud van Nistelrooy and Alex Bastard Ferguson. And at the end of that round, David's team have 9 points and Gary's team have 9 points. Time now for some legalised groping as we play Field the Sportsman. David and Jonathan, you're up first this week.
David, I'm going to get it amongst you this week. Oh, I've got my jumpsuit on. As you can see, it's an all-in-one designed for both flexibility and easy access.
Can we have our first mystery guest, please? Okay, you can start your feeling now.
No, Nick, there's a gas leak. There is a gas leak. Hey, he's doing that thing. Hey, get down, David. It's the dance. What? I see it. Oops, up, side your head. I said, oops, up, side your head. I said, what? I said, oops, up, side your head. I said, oops, up, side your head. I said, what? I said, oops, up, side. What the? Don't make him angry. I think he's got a gun. Well, hold on. There's some lines on it. Is it Sue Barker? What? I tell you, he's a fit fella, but he feels a bit. Well, he feels quite old.
Really? Feels quite old?
Yeah. He's got wrinkles on him. Is it your son?
What, Elijah?
You know, I think he's playing with the battling chops or the Beyblades.
No, it's over 70s rowing champ, Bert Lear.
Ah, do apologize.
All I got is you.
I don't know. That's an arm. There's a fiddle. Look at it.
Gary and Rory, your turn. Can we have our second mystery guest, please? time starts now.
To table. This
Look at that.
Wow.
This is. Oh, Rory, I'm at the net. Oh. Can I just stay here?
Now, come on, lads, we've hired this church hall for the band practice. Come on. Oh! Well, what's this? I think it's a 3D picture of Luke Chadwick.
Yeah. Can I serve?
Go on, then. Have you served yet?
Is it ping pong?
Yeah, who is it? Come on.
It's definitely a pong. Is it the
Commonwealth
English,
Games winning people?
The English Commonwealth Game gold medalist.
Is that what you said?
Yes, the England Commonwealth gold medalist. Table tennis team. So, the scores at the end of that round are David's team with 9 points and Gary's team with 12.
Come on.
We end, as usual, with the name game. The leaders go first, which is Gary's team. Susie, could you pass those along to Rory, please? 90 seconds to get as many names as you can. Your time starts now.
Vavavoom. Qu'est-ce que c'est le vavavoom? Very good. This is a square-faced...
David Coulthard.
Thank you, very good. Now, this guy is a footballer and his middle name is an Arsenal supporter.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Very good indeed. This guy came second in the Superbikes World Championship. Apparently, his first name is an ancient...
Troy Bayliss.
Oh, you're gorgeous.
Troy.
You presenting Treasure Hunt, you presented by this charming...
Annika.
Right.
Yes.
Anelka.
And Elka Rice, yeah. This is a crazy bikes rider. Oh, no, Mrs. Yeah, no. Oh,
Frankie
Tita not. First name?
Frankie.
Yeah, and this...
Keeley.
Very good indeed. Excellent. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. One of the actors in it was...
Robert Redford.
Paul Newman.
Not Paul Newman. If Mark Lawrenson... If Mark Lawrenson abandoned you, you'd have to get a new...
Lover.
He admits it. All right, this is a US female golfer. First name, you could describe Diego Forlan, actually.
Melty.
What does he do to the goals?
Mrs.
That's close. Well, you know, if he was a bloke, it'd be mastery. So he's a...
Mystery. Missy.
Second name, first two letters of my second name, the first three, I thought.
Very good. You've moved on to 19, so 11. 11? Yes, 11.
I'm sure there was something going on there.
Yeah.
You know.
They were doing clues and getting them right.
Well, that's not the point.
OK, time starts now.
Mustachio genius of golf looks a little bit like a Mexican.
Sue Barker.
First name, I am. I am. There's a
Sam
and
Torrance.
second name, yeah, there you go. Wake up, for God's sake. We're meant to be playing the game. It's against the clock. All right. He's a campaigner. He was telling Tyson off earlier for homophobic comments.
Tatchell.
Yeah, Mr.
Peter Tatchell.
Okay. First name, very large lady, bit of a minger on Big Brother. That's the one. Second name, you like Miami Vice, didn't you? You used to base yourself on this guy with the rolled up sleeves, Don
Johnson.
There you go. Well done. In The Simpsons, the dad is called.
Mr.
Homer.
Mr. Simpson. All right. And the second name, dear oh dear, where should we go with this? Okay. It's the current US president.
Yeah, is that sort of Bush?
Go wake up and up! How long does it take?
Lincoln, is it?
All right. Okay, here we are. Homer's wife is Mrs.
Homer Simpson.
No! Simpson. Second name
yes.
is first name. Remember that lady prime minister we had? You said was too left wing.
Thatcher, yeah.
Yeah. First name.
Mrs.
No! Margaret, thank you. All right. Second name. Hey, what's the matter with you? I'm a running to church. I'm a running to church. You got no respect.
That's the Pope.
Now, David's team have 14, but this week's winner is Gary's team with 19. So incredibly, for only the 14th time... Incredibly, for only the 14th time in 14 series, the last show has ended with a tie-break. Wow. So we're going to bring back the table tennis table and ask our 6 panellists to play round the table. OK? Up you all get. The rules are very simple. Miss a shot and you're out. The last one standing wins.
Get off, get off.
You've got to walk. It's important to warm up before a match. You've got to warm up because your hips could go for full. You've got to get the hip flexors going.
Listen. Go.
None of your
Be
violence.
nice.
No, I had not warmed up.
You are out.
You didn't give me.
You are out.
You didn't tell me.
You're out.
No. Well, listen.
He's the kid at school that was always last pick.
It's Suzi.
That's true. And you find that funny?
Oh,
Yes.
Quick. You can run. Shit, you're out.
That's not fair.
Come and sit over here. We'll have a conversation.
Rory, move round.
Come on, we're both out. Anyway. That's all right.
OK, Gary, go.
Hey, Gary, look what I got. Hey, good luck with the game.
I tell you what, you take your time, mate. We're all right, aren't we?
Nice big soft one, apparently.
Right, you're out.
I'm off.
Hey, come over here. We'll have a consolation cup. I've got another leg. I'm fine. I tell you what, there's room for everyone.
You reckon?
Come on. Hey, I'm lucky, mate. You know what, Gary? I now realise I wish I'd played more sport when I was little.
Gary's out. OK, David versus Rory. This'll decide it. Let's go. Don't have to run round. Go.
You still wouldn't have to run around.
Come on.
David Gower, series winner. David's team is indeed the winner. Our thanks to Gary, Rory and Suzi, David, Jonathan and Ashia. We're all off to ask Anna Kournikova some inappropriate questions. My name's Nick Hancock. They think it's all over. It is now.
But it will be back later in the year on BBC One. Next Friday at 9:30, the return of Have I Got News For You. And don't forget, Nick Hancock's back tomorrow morning from 6 with Fish on 5 on 909 and 693 AM, BBC Radio 5 Live.